All right, and I'll put my, so you guys can put my headphones on. So we're gonna do this in ink. But as you, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
But as usual, I'm gonna, you have options to do this drawing. You do not have to use ink. You can use pencil, you can use paint, you can do anything you want with this drawing. And I, with my ink demo today, am not gonna use a grid, but if you wanna use a grid, I would highly recommend you use a grid. So I'm just gonna remind you how to draw the grid. I'm drawing the grid on the source. You will want to draw the grid, hold on here, I'm looking for my marker. You are going to want to draw the grid on your paper, on your paper. So if you're using Bristol paper like I am for the ink, if you don't have a ruler, you're going to want to take your, let's see, you're going to take this, say this is your blank paper. You're going to fold it once in half. Fold it again in half, fold it again in half, and fold it again in half. If you're using Bristol paper, you can't really do that. You're going to need a ruler, right? And then when you open it, of course, you've got a painting that's something that's been gridded. But if you're wanting to draw it, this is how you, with your ruler, this is how you do it. I'm going to go up here just a little bit so you can see. I would normally be at the edge. So, sorry. So down here, how does this view, you guys? What do you think of it?
Yeah.
It's better. You can see really well, which is what I like. Okay. So I have my ruler along the bottom edge of my paper. I am using an American A3 size, so that's 8.5 by 11 inches. So I'm going to find the halfway point of 8.5, which is 4.25. And then when I'm here, I'm going to find the halfway point of 4.25, which is basically 2.2 inches. I normally find I'm using a silver thing because I think it'll be easier to see, although I can go over this with a different color if we need to. So once again, I've moved my ruler over here and I'm marking 2.2, right? So you can see these three marked, they're all evenly matched. And then up here, yeah, I guess I'm just going to need to do this. Come on. I'll go a little bit below so you can see. I'm going to do the same thing up here. 4.25, making sure my ruler is here at 0, 2.2. I'm moving over here, 2.2. And then, of course, I can easily line these two up and draw a straight line down. That's like, this is like folding the paper. So this is the short side. And now I'm going to do the long side. Now the long side, what's nice about the long side is that, it's easier to do in centimeters. So I'm showing you how I can go back and forth between centimeters and inches, and it is not really a problem. Once again, I have my ruler lined up at 0. And this is 28 centimeters, which is of course really easy to divide. So I'm marking 14 here for the halfway point, 7 for this halfway point, and then 21 for this halfway point, right? 7, 7, 7. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. All right, and then once again, I'll be lining those up. Oh yeah, I think this is much better. I think you guys can see much better what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just bought a drawing desk, which is at an angle. So I think I'll be able to get the angle even better when that arrives. Right now I'm standing at a cocktail table. he's looking kind of pissed off, which I really like.
Yeah.
And then of course our first lines are going to be, I'm going to draw these out and then I'm going to text this over to you so you have everything you need. So I'll tell you what, I'll talk to you guys about pastel materials when we're working. How's that? So that's going to be your first lines. And let's see, let's make your second lines blue. So when I say this, you've got options, right? You can, and notice here what I'm doing on blue. I'm marking out some of the inside lines, but also I'm marking out the dark and the light areas. But I'm not doing that till I get my overall shape good. So if you're doing ink, you can totally do this as a gridded drawing with a pencil first. I am not working with the pencil, but you can totally work with the pencil if you want to. So remember, you've got a copy of this little bobcat. And yeah, let me point out some things while I'm sort of highlighting the area. So you're going to start by sort of drawing. I'll go through it so you'll see. So notice that the eye here, although both eyes have an iris where the iris is lighter than the pupil, right? The iris is this thing and the pupil is here. Notice that the lightness, and same here, lighter iris, darker pupil. Notice that this iris is lighter in value than this iris. So when you're drawing that, remember to reflect that difference. And in fact, it's a little bit harder to see the iris here. So it's dark, it's slightly lighter than the pupil on this side, but not as much. Like mess around with it. That's something to notice. Notice that although the kitty's nose is light, right? Because just like a person, the nose is sticking out and catching the light. Notice that this side of the nose where the light is, by the way, light is coming from this side, right? We can see that pretty clearly. Yeah, I have no idea how this guy got it. It must be a zoo animal or something. I have no, oh, Sandra's here, yay. All right, got you, Sandra. Okay. Hi, Sandra.
Hey, Sandra.
Hi, Sandra. No, it's okay. We're happy. We're really happy to see you. And notice I picked a subject that I think you're really going to like. So
exactly. Thank you.
I was just talking about lighting differences, right? So I'm talking about lighting differences. And unfortunately, Sandra, I don't have this in color. It's a black and white. So you're going to have to, if you're going to do it, okay, that'll work. But if you want to, I'd say you could play around with color. So just notice the light side of the cheek, right, is very light. It's light here too and lighter than it is here in the center. And yet still, this light side is like a 1. This is probably more like a 3. So just remember as you're going through that we still have to maintain value and we need to see value differences. There's a difference between here and here. There's a difference between here and here. And just like there's a difference between here and here and here and here, but here it's a little bit more extreme. So you're paying attention to value, lightness or darkness as you're layering in. Does anybody have questions about that or does that make sense? All right. So once again, you can do,
Sorry, do you think he has different colored eyes in reality?
No, he does not have different colored eyes. That's okay. Just what I was saying. This is in shadow and this is in light. But some cats have a yellow and a blue. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. This is just the lighting on him. You can darker hair, same color, but darker, but a darker version of that color. So does anybody have questions about this right now before? So you can start. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a picture of this and send it across the thread. And you get to look at me upside down. Like, yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me get here to WhatsApp. I'm going to send you a picture of this so you have it. October 3rd. Sandra, I'm going to add you in. There we go. Okay. I think I've got everybody in here. And now I'm going to send a picture of this. Now it's hard for me to get back far enough because of my thing. Wait, that's not quite right. I'm sorry. I need to get the whole, here, let me move him a little bit for the moment. So Sandra, I was telling these guys, I'm experimenting with a new positioning. Olga, slow down, but cute, but slow down, honey, slow down. Actually, you don't have to slow down, but if you want to watch about technique, you'll want to slow down. Oh, God's sakes. Right, there we go. Ah, sorry.
You already made it. When
But
did you do this?
she's not really paying attention to value. You'll see that. So there's issues there. So that's why I want you guys to pay attention. It's good. Anyway, she's in a roll. She's doing it. All right. So you should be able to see that whole thing. I'm going to add this again. So you've got the original. All right. Now I'm going to pop back on and try to position this so that you can see my ink drawing. You're going to see a little bit of the cat, but mostly you're going to be watching my drawing. Okay. Because I think that's the key here, is to get you guys to be able to see it. I realized when I was doing watercolor last night that students couldn't see. So let's see, hang on, I have to pop back in, zoom. Maybe I need a third phone. So I could like do all of the business. All right. Yes, this is where it becomes a little bit tricky. I think I got. So this is the only tricky thing. I may work with getting more materials that are better. There we go. Okay.
Oh, I forgot.
So if you're gonna watch, you can see a little bit of the cat here. No. Almost got it. Yeah. There we go. Sorry, you guys. Okay, I think that's a pretty good. I think you can see pretty well both of them. You'll see I have a little pencil mark because I want this painting to stay within a certain size range. And that means, just like always with ink, I have, I'm going to use this extra as my testing paper. So that will go on the bottom. This is going to go on the top. Just trying to straighten it out just a touch. Yeah, you guys let me know if it's getting too hard to look at. Oh, there we go. Anyway, the kitty's kind of in the middle, so that'll help. And I've got, as usual, I've got my water. I've got my ink. I'm still with blue ink. I still haven't gotten to the art store to get more. I've got a brush. I've got a pen. So, for those of you who are new to ink, do you guys need me to review the mark making of ink? Just loosely, roughly. Basically, if you dip into.
Mia?
Yes.
Could you flip the picture that we're drawing from some way so that we can trigger our left brain?
Later, I will.
Oh,
Later.
yeah.
Later. Not now, but I will. I totally will. I got it. Okay, Jean's coming in. Hello, Jean. Welcome, Jean. Yeah, I will, but I'm going to do it when I don't have to be doing so many other things here. I want you guys to watch, actually, is my main thing, but we'll get there. Okay, Jean, I'll send you that later. I've just finally got this position. So
it's okay. I'm doing the one you already sent me.
oh, okay, great. Okay, so just to review mark making, I'm down here. I've just dipped my brush directly
Oh, wow.
in ink, right?
This is not a cat, that's a lynx.
It's a lynx. He's a cat.
Well, I hadn't seen the tip of the ears.
Yeah.
now we're looking at
You'll
the
get
picture.
there. Yeah, we'll get there.
Those ears.
So notice as I'm going directly in the ink that like I can make these sort of beautiful brush marks. And if I dip my brush in the water, the marks get lighter and lighter, right? They get lighter here, up here. Okay, and that means, and in fact, I'm going to move this even more so you can see the edge over here. Ah! Oh, damn it. Sorry. Give me a second. Sometimes my phone.
Brush marks feel like hikers in motion.
Oh, there we go. Ah. Give me a second, guys. Dang it. Trying to work upside down without, there we go. Back of the zoom. Okay. Sorry, trying to get you a good view is harder than it looks. All right. Yeah, so you can now see the whole thing. So there is this mark making, right, with the light, with the lights. And then there's the mark making of the pen and ink, where I'm just going right in. So I'm doing two different kinds of marks, which are really crucial in the whole like ink making business, because we want some strong lines along with some of the mushy lines. Notice if I go directly into the ink like this and I leave a mark like that, or I'll do it right here. I cannot get rid of it. It will stay, right? I can't scrub it out. But if I dip my brush in the water after I dip it in the ink and I put a mark down like that, as long as it's wet, I can get rid of it mostly. Okay, so it's good to start all your sketches with watery ink, In fact, I'll probably mostly just use this for my beginning sketches, my water and my ink. And remember also that, what was I going to say about this? Oh yes, to preserve, you want to preserve your whites. So you want to leave your white areas blank. You want to sketch them out either with your ink, right? However you're going to do it, and you want to try and get as little ink as possible onto them. So, regardless of what material you're using, we're going to start. I'm going to start here with a very light watery ink, maybe slightly more watery so I can see it better. I often will like actually define my outer edges before I try to go in. It's an easier way to keep from going too large. And I'm going to go up, right? Because I'm following here. I'm going over. I'm going out. I'm going up. Notice no inside lines. Notice that the head doesn't go farther out than the left edge here. So I want to make sure that I don't push this out, head out too far so that it's leaning farther out in here. And yeah, the ears just take up all the space, don't they? But I like this because maybe I even have to move my ears around. We'll see. I'm kind of guessing where I think things are. This is because I've been drawing a long time. For those of you who have not been drawing a long time, it's not going to be so easy to guess where things are. So rely on your grid until you're more confident with what's happening. Anyways, no crime. If you're saying to yourself, I just can't do it, the truth is you're just not experienced enough yet. And that is okay. That's a sort of valid part of the process. And it's also very common. It is not an uncommon thing. So what you're going through, what everybody else is going through, it's very normal. I've already made him a little bit too big, but that's okay. I can see. Right, now I've gone here. Down like that. And then down. I can bring out my kitty a little bit. So I was a little bit off in my marks. So now I'm going to do a little bit of checking before I go further. I want to see, did I get my kitty kind of in the right? Did I get the body and the head proportionally correct? So I'm checking the head, and I can see that if I go straight down from top to bottom, from here to here, that this is exactly halfway. It's like one head distance. So I'm gonna come here, give myself a little mark and see, did I do that? Oh, look at that. So I need to bring my head mark down a little bit. See that? So now I know this is where the chin is, which means I've got to bring in these lines a little bit and bring up this side. So can you see how I got that a little bit too? So really this is what's happening. There's the beginning of the head. So I'm showing you how to correct. Once again, this also is not like super easy, so don't worry if you don't get it. I'm gonna have that, but very lightly. I'm gonna bring this part of the body over a little bit, like that. So do you see how I adjusted that? Like this, I had it going this way. I kind of pulled it this way. Let's see. Besides the width, I may want to use this to check the width here. Maybe I'll use this to check the size of the ears. So once again, the ears with the little tuft is almost the same size as the head. Okay, that looks pretty good. Yep. No, I think I need to bring this out a little bit more. So you see, I'm correcting all the time. And then the last one I want to check is, did I get the width of my head correct with the height of my head? So this little kitty, unlike a lot, his width of his head at the widest part, just below the ears, is the same as the height. So I'm looking at this. Ah, look at that. So see what I did? I don't know if you guys see what I did there. When I went like this, this is the same size. I sort of extended out his head too big. So now I'm going to bring it in. So I made it too wide. So be aware. I'm going to try and mark that with a little bit darker ink so I know actually where it is. Be aware how easy it is. Aha, so that's what happened.
So Leah,
What?
you know that you have to correct the width rather than the chin because you measured the chin vis-a-vis the ears and the rest of the body?
Exactly. I like to establish the vertical distances first before I
Okay.
deal with the, that's a great question. And I'm going to try and mark this so I can, boy, too dark. I'm going to try and mark this so I can see the edge. Yeah, so let me check it again. One. There we go. Yep. So see how I've got all this extra here? I'm going to deal with that. There's ways I can deal with that. And I'm going to bring my ear in a little bit. And that explains why I had to extend my body out. It wasn't actually, there we go. Okay. So just note how easy it is to do that. And then note how easy it is to correct. I have these marks here, but I'm not worried about them. They're going to dry and be light. So now that I've done that, which is basically the outer lines, and I've got this first blue line in here, I'm going to sketch in kind of loosely my light and my medium and my darks. Hopefully I haven't gone. I'm going to do some of the easier ones. Before I go to the face, I always like to sketch out the bigger shapes first, right? And I see that there's a very light edge here. So either I'm going to put it in here later, but I'm just noting that I don't want to get too dark on this edge. I'm going here like this. Yeah, and I may have gotten a little dark. I hope I haven't gone too dark here. Okay. Every once in a while, there's that. Okay, and then the next thing I'm going to see is if I were to divide this face down the middle, let's see, which is just below the middle line here, if you're gridding. If I were to divide this place in the middle, what's here? What I see is that my eyes are above this middle line. So I know that my eyes, when I sketch them in, are above here. I also can see, yep, I'd say that's about right. There's an eye space between each eye and about a half an eye space on either side of the eye. So if I want to sketch in my eye, roughly, but notice I'm doing this very loosely.
Yeah, it looks like the eye that we're looking at on the left is bigger than the one that.
No, it's just that's the thing. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's because there's darker areas. Don't get too focused on that. Don't get yourself. That is paying too much attention to detail way too early. And it has to do with lighting and shadow. And that's your left brain. You can tell it to leave the room. It's not going to help you. It's not going to help you, right? Your left brain is a pain in the neck. It does not know what's going on, and it's going to try and argue and tell you things are going on. And I can see if I go here that, yeah, I pretty much got a half eye space on this side. I've got a full eye space here. Here's another eye. And then I've got an eye, about a half eye space on the other side. So I think my eyes are in pretty much the right shape. Now, let's do another measurement. So here's the, I'm going to mark this in red so you can really see this. This is the halfway line between the bottom, the top and the bottom of the face. So if I were to go down another halfway, yeah, I think that's about right, just above the. So what am I doing here? Does anybody recognize this? What am I doing here? What are we doing that we did before? Anybody remember? Halfway point. Where did we find halfway points on the face? When did we start? When did we do that with?
With humans.
Yep. So I know that this, so here's the halfway point, and here is halfway down the halfway point, right? So this is one, this, if I was to divide this into 4 quarters, that's what it would look like. And I see that my nose of the cat is in kind of ends basically right here at the halfway point, and it does not go as high as this. So you're going to want to draw your nose bigger because it feels so big, but it is not as big as you think it is. I'm not getting into much about the shapes of the nose, a little. I'm just getting the outer shape. I'm not dealing with anything else right now. And then it's a little bit easier to get this in the right place. There we go. He's kind of a stern looking little fellow. And then there's this kind of whisker pad, which is dark. It's kind of a it's like it's like a straight line and a curved line. And then over here as well. I can already see I've done this too big, this eye a little bit too big. So I'm going to pull it back a little bit. There's more space here in the cheek. That's right, because I notice also, I even feel like that's still too high up. I'm going to pull it down just a little bit more. Notice it's easy, even when you do the measurements, to sort of drift off them. That's what happens. We drift off our measurements. There's a line, kind of a little flirty line, a little shape up here, but more importantly, there's this definite divide here where everything gets darker. There's a little light area, but mostly things are darker. I love how it looks at this face, because it's so funny, and yet there's definitely things happening. And you can see that I made my eye too big, but I'm going to be able to correct that when I go back in with my bamboo brush. Let's see here. The only thing that may be tricky for me to figure out is I might have gone too dark in here, but we'll see. May not be able to quite rescue that. Definitely, I've already got the mood of this little fellow. So, and if you're working in obviously pencil or pastel or another option, we'll go here. All right, and then my next step is to go a little bit darker. I'm going to go a little bit darker with my darks, but not too dark. So I'm still trying to preserve my lights. I'm dipping my brush in my ink. Now I'm dipping my brush in my water. I'm testing over down here. Whoop, that is the only here. I'm testing over here. You can see that, but I'm testing here to make sure it's not too, it's too light. So I'm gonna get a little bit more, I'm gonna get a little bit dark, more ink. Okay, too dark. There we go. Kind of a medium color of ink that I'm looking for. And then I'm gonna go to the darkest parts of the kitty, which are here. But I'm coloring them in. I'm not doing the dots yet. I'm just coloring them in. But they're gonna dry light. So these are gonna wind up looking like mediums. You're gonna go darker. And see, here's how I can kind of get rid of a little bit. So this is gonna get darker, but right now it's at this kind of light stage. I'm coming up here. Notice how much I'm moving around the kitty. I'm not sticking in one place. I'm not really thinking about ears or what have you. I'm thinking about darks and lights. Those are everywhere. There's kind of a light here. The nose is like really dark on this side. And then I think you can use this, and then here it's a little bit darker. In fact, it's probably, there's some light in here. Oh yes, don't forget your blankie. You go to dark, but not that much. There's dark here and here, up here. And this whole sort of left side is darker. So I can go in and darken that, because I'm gonna go and make other parts darker still. Because I'm building up my dark slowly. So look at how light this is, but how already I'm starting to get a sense of, depth, because I'm starting to pull the lights out. And when I feel pretty good about that, I might go in with slightly darker ink, less water. I'm testing over here. And I could go to darker areas where things are really dark. So this side of the nose.
This dot just above where you're doing now, this is the halfway down face point.
Here? Yeah,
Yes.
right there.
Thank you.
Yes, that's a drip, but this is a dot. And you can also see it here.
See it where, Leah?
You can
Sorry.
see it on the source.
Ah, yes, okay.
Okay. So, and then, so I'm kind of getting things a little bit darker. I'm just going to the darkest areas to pull out the darks a little bit. Now we're getting a little bit stronger. Be careful not to drop too much. There's a little dark area here. And then now I might add in these kind of blurry lines, which are also reading like whiskers. Oh, but if I go too soon, if I don't wait until my lower level is dry, you're gonna see I'm gonna have a lot more dripping and drifting. So I'm trying to go through this fast. I'm gonna go through this as fast as possible, but you guys might want to slow it down. Oh, shoot, sorry. I just got something in my eye here. Hold on.
Oh, are you okay?
Hold on, give me a second. Oh, good. Oh my God, I totally just dropped my ink water into my eye. Hang on, I'm all right. I just had to get it out, washed out for a second. Thank
Do you
goodness
see
it's
blue?
waterproof ink. Oh, sorry, you guys can't hear me. I just dropped ink in
No,
my
we can
eye,
hear
but
you. Oh, we can
water
hear you.
ink, but I'm fine.
We
I'm
heard
fine.
you.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
good.
fine.
Good to
Sorry.
know that.
Anyway, very concentrated on the task. There we go. Injuries during art class.
You can't blame Hermes on this one.
Yes, that's right. He's like sleeping very quietly over here. I'll show you guys again. him again in a little bit. All right, so I'm kind of pulling in. So notice I'm layering kind of the darker colors on top of the lighter ones. And on this side, it's a little bit darker. Yeah, art class, a contact sport. It's a dangerous game. All right, there's a little line in the middle that's kind of dark. So not the whole nose is not as dark. You know, it's not as dark as everything else. This is fairly dark. Can you see how he's starting to come out a little bit? And I may go, I'm gonna go on a dark, I'm gonna do a slightly darker layer. I want my ink to be darker, but not super dark, not as super dark, darker here, right? I want that to get darker. And I see that like some of the light kind of mediums that are coming in here are brushing this way. So I'm actually brushing my brush a little bit this way. There's a little bit of dark up here, touch there. See how I'm not going necessarily all the way around? I'm really not making any assumptions about what I'm really pushing only the darkest areas. There are the eyes, that's kind of happening up here. And then up here, there's more dark. Here, there's a little bit more dark. A little bit of medium. So I'm bringing in a little bit more dark here. And I'll probably keep this here at this level because it's a little bit lighter. It still looks fairly mushy, but you can see we're starting to get the shapes in. At this point, I now want to use my pen, my bamboo pen. This definitely needs some lines. And before I go in and do the face, which I know everybody wants to do immediately, but before I do that, I'm going to do some outer lines. So you see, now this is how I start to pull away from this kind of mess I made at the top here by putting things in the wrong place. Hopefully I did not. There we go. And then there's.
What I'm noticing is that this mess sometimes ends up looking so interesting. That
Right? Well, that's
I made a mistake.
Exactly. It's texture, right? It's texture and it's accidental. So here's our problem with trying to create random texture. This is what we do. Here, I'm going to put this over.
I just
here so you
dipped
can really see
my
this.
ink brush in my teeth.
Oh dear. So this is what we do. Let me show you what we do when you try to create a random pattern. If you want to draw grass, you do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
If you want to draw what? Grass.
Grass, you do this. You do these little bloody patterns that aren't there. 2, 3, 4. I watched everybody do it 2 days ago in class. We were doing a landscape.
But they're
When you
not
do-
parallel.
When you do sort of random fur, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is what you do without thinking. And that is not what's happening. That is your mind, your stupid left brain trying to organize things that are not to be organized. Really, grass is like this. Several different, right? It's in different directions, but we can't do that. So your mind is going to resist doing that. So sometimes that's a long way of saying that sometimes that texture, Natalia, is that we create accidentally without really thinking about it is actually the texture is better, right? We create something that has more of a feeling of randomness because we didn't lay it down with our thinking left brain. All right, notice here. So see how I'm like kind of totally honing in, and look what happens when I do that. Definitely the kitty becomes a little bit more defined. So I didn't get all the ink in the places that I wanted to, but that's okay. Sometimes that creates these very glorious extra textures, almost like a little aura floating. Is this better, by the way, you guys, for viewing?
Yes, that's great, actually.
Yeah.
It's really
yeah.
great. All right, so if I can like lock that down a little bit more, if I don't have to struggle with it so much, it's gonna be even better.
Sorry.
Well, thanks Jean, because she helped me figure it out last night. And I'm really delighted.
Oh, yay.
Glad we did it. There's like a little bit of fur here, so see how I'm like trying to sort of not do a straight line here. Here is probably more of a straight line. And there's a curve in. So as that, look at what's happening to this cat as I'm just adding these external lines. So your desire is going to be to want to go right to the eyes. And I'm going to tell you, do not do that. There is a time for that. Look at what I do to this cat. And then there's this kind of light area, kind of comes up even like that. There's a time to do that, and that's kind of time is coming up, but we want to get these other lines in place. Yeah, it's starting to come out really nice. I'm not even going to draw this one here. I'm going to leave it. I might put it in later, but I'll see. So see how I managed to carve in this kitty. Without really having to erase by using these strong lines. And you'll see, you won't be able to do, so you have to keep going back into my ink to get that. There's a little bit of a thing there. I might be doing more here, but now is really the time to go to the face. So see how much more distinct this cat looks right now, right? Okay, so now I'm going in with the outline, and I want you to notice the shape of this cat's eyes. They are not round. This is a straight line coming at a diagonal, and then a little line coming in, and then a line coming down, and then a thin dark line. I'm drawing this kind of dark line that's around the edge of the kitty. You'll be able to see it better if you look at the picture I sent you, and I'll of course put this up. I think it's really important, even though you want to jump in, and I know some of you are already doing it, that you're going to miss key details on how to do this. If you can watch me for a little while before jumping in, you're going to avoid a lot of mistakes. Aha.
Ah, now he's looking.
Right.
Now he's looking fierce.
He's looking fierce. He's looking fierce. Look at this fierce kitty. And on the same side also, it's kind of at an angle here. So I want to make sure it's still dark. Yep. Okay. So see how I'm able to kind of correct. It's a little bit rounded here. And then there is. So this I'm doing with the pen. Right?
Yeah,
'Cause
it's
I want
easier,
it-
isn't it?
Well, yeah, you just can't get the detail that you want to. And then there's this kind of little lighter line. I may even keep this eye, light, but I'm going to go back in when this is dry with my brush and do, I'm not going to do totally dark ink, but I'm going to go darker here with this whole pupil. Actually, if I look really close, I can see there's a tiny little lightish corner. I still think it's a little too dark, so I'm going to pull it back a little bit. But you see how I'm making this iris darker. and what's going on over here. I'm probably
Okay,
not
next
gonna
we
do
go.
anything else here because of the way the light is hitting the kitty. Now I might wanna do some of those same lines, inclines. Not up here like this, or maybe you might want to.
He
But
has some
I'm-
though.
Yeah, but they're not necessarily strong lines. They might be brush marks. So now I'm going in with my pen to kind of outline the outer shape of the nose. Right, like that. Yeah. Oh, he's coming. He's coming. And notice I can't really dip more than like once or twice with this bamboo pen. So really notice what the bamboo pen, for those of you who have not really been able to see this before, I want you to see what this bamboo pen does for you. It's what gives you, we work with these sort of rough masses, right? And then we give them a little shape. I can see that it's a little bit darker here.
I have not tried my bamboo pens. I have to do that.
Maybe it's why you don't like ink.
Maybe it is.
Mhm. So again, I've been using the bamboo pen the whole time, but I think it's been hard for you guys to see. So you haven't really been seeing what's going on. Now you can see what the bamboo pen can do, how important it is in the whole sort of process. Yeah. All right. I might also take this and add some more sort of strength to some of the dots, right? So now I've got this kind of varying texture. That's a little bit like this. And I might even do that, a couple of those. Now I know some of these whiskers are light, I know Emma's got some beautiful silver inks. If you've got different colored inks where you can do that, I would go for it. If you can't, oh yeah, look at how much he's starting to come together. Can you guys see that?
No, it's
Look at
fantastic.
look at how much that's happening. Just make your whiskers black. I know they aren't supposed to be. If you've got white, although I might play around with like watercolor.
He's
or
got
something.
black and white.
Yes, but you can't really put white in black over black.
No, that's
ink.
true.
So my point is, don't worry about it. Don't bother with that part because you can't do it. Oh, here you are. I'm coming back in. I'm kind of darkening. There's a nice dark strip here. And one here as well. I'm going to use the brush for that. And there's kind of some testing to make sure I don't go too dark. This is kind of soft, light area, dark area here and here. So see how he's starting to, I'm going to do most of this, yeah, I think, with the brush. But may go back in and add some more distinct pen marks. So look at how I'm dealing with the left versus the right. And
You guys
notice
hear
how
this
I've
squirrel?
kept-
Yeah.
He's arguing with.
Yes, he is like, I love that fucking pissed off squirrel sound. That is so funny.
He's arguing with Dragon.
Your cats have a good life.
I hope so.
They do. They talk about it all the time, I'm sure. What's she gonna feed us next? What's she gonna do with us? Oh, she's home all the time. Isn't it awesome? Just hanging out with us. We are the luckiest cats.
It's lovely weather right now. So
Nice. Nice, that little bit before fall. All right, so can you guys, and then I can go back in with my brush and try to create some textures here right? Some of this fur
That's your pen or your brush?
texture. This is my pen,
Okay.
right? I can put these. Notice again, be careful not to get too, now I can go into more detail here, but I think, did you guys get, do you guys have enough to kind of work on your own? And then I can
Yes.
send you
Yeah.
pictures. All right. So I could as well, if I wanted to, go in with my pen here and kind of darken a little bit, but I want to be careful not to get too crazy with those strong pen marks.
So,
Ah.
Leah, at what stage do you know to switch to the pen?
Well, I think I've been, okay, so I think in general, the point is that the pen comes in when you have got your basic lights, mediums, and darks laid out.
Okay,
Then you do the outline, then you go in and start working on the facial features.
got it.
And then you're back and forth, right? Then you're back and forth to try and figure it out. Oh, he's cute. He looks kind of pissed off, a little bit more pissed off than he really is. I'm gonna take a picture of this. So how was that, you guys? Was that a better demo experience?
That was great.
Okay, great. That's what I want to hear. So that's what I'm going for. So I'm gonna take a picture of this so that you can really see it. You can see all my messy. And I'll take another picture of him with his little halfway points here.
Yeah, when you're done taking the pictures, can you put the demo back up, like the way you just had it, so we can see?
Okay, yeah, then I can't look at what you're sending me. But
Oh, okay, okay.
I can't, I just sent you the demo. I can, if you want me to, I could jump back in. My idea is that maybe you guys get to work a little bit and then, but actually, why not? Let's keep this, let's do that. Here, hold on, let me jump back in. I'll put up the demo for a little while, and then when somebody wants me to look at something, I'll take the phone down. So let's do that. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's helpful to see it. Well, that makes me happy. That means we've kind of got it.
You know, I could,
He just makes me laugh. He's got.
He looks so
just a fan-
serious, like
He
he's
is.
being taken a passport picture, you know?
Yeah. He must be in a zoo because there's no way the photographer could get him to, sit still like that in the wild. But, oh, I see. I wrecked all my. Okay, that's what happened. Give me just, guys, I'm going to pop off for just a second, clean up all this blue ink water mess. Okay. I hope I totally swore, didn't I, when I got ink in my water? All right, well, maybe I should mark this as not for children. And then in a little while, when you guys are kind of working on this for a bit, I'm going to talk to you about pastels. There is a pastel supply list. I've sent it to all the coordinators, so they have it and can send it to you, but I'll also send it to everybody who's here if you want me to, just to kind of get you prepared for what you'll need. Remember also that on Thursday afternoons, which are eating, so you may have to catch the video. We're doing watercolor for the next month. So if that's something you want to explore, jump into that.
Is there a supply list on the website for the watercolors?
Not for watercolors. So I'll put one together.
Okay.
I want it to be as cheap, but watercolor is the easiest one to kind of start with, whatever, like any little set and watercolor paper. Pastels are a little bit more tricky because you have to get like, have to have a certain number. They have to be a certain kind. They want to be able to make certain marks. So I found a couple sets that I think are, yes, cat's glaring down at you. And if any of you want, I can totally turn this upside down. So when anybody wants to, I know Oscar was asking earlier. Was it George or Oscar who was asking earlier about turning it upside down?
No, it was me, Oscar.
Okay. Oscar, do you want this turned upside down now? Because the other option is I could take this down. I mean, I can try this. How's that? That's kind of fun.
Oh, that's gonna make me feel like throwing up.
Yeah, right. One upside down and one right side up and one upside down. Let me see if I can get that. Won't be able to see the drawing so much. I don't want to look it upside down. I'll probably see a bunch of things that are wrong with it, but can't really do anything about that. Well, I can do things, I just don't feel like it. Although there is one thing I'm noticing as I put it upside down. So I have all of this floaty stuff. If I want to get rid of this, I can actually go in with kind of a light inky water background, right? To get rid of all that. See how that just kind of gets rid of it. If you don't like those lines, I sometimes really like having those lines in, but if you want to get rid of them, I can just sort of put this kind of medium to dark tone background in, right? And then that gets rid of a lot of those extra brush marks where I had to correct. And over here. If I wanted to get really dramatic. Go in with the dark, like really dark.
Olivia,
Dark really helps. So it's straight A.
I'm going to send it to you before I switch to the pen,
Okay.
because once I do the pen, it won't be salvageable.
All right, you got it. Hold on. Let me see how I'm darkening here. The background, the dark background really helps me. By the way, I am not, I don't know if any of you guys are interested, but you have to come up with your own information. I am, okay, there we go. Let's see. I would say, Sandra, you can make, well, Actually, I like it. I'd say that's good. It's a good time to go to pen. Good time to go to pen.
The nose seemed too wide, but
Well,
nose,
look
but
where the
I can
nose-
fix it with a pen, I guess.
yeah, look at where the nose is in relation to the eyes.
To the eyes, but it's correct.
Then it's okay.
It's just these wild cats have very wide noses.
Yes, they do. They do. I'm looking to see. Yes, in fact, really good. Good.
I measured with a ruler.
I see it, and I can see it. Your measurements are solid. You've made him a little too tall, but that's okay.
Yeah, but that's because I went to the bottom of the page. I figured the body continued.
Ah, Jean, much better. So much better.
Thank you.
So you still need to be working. So remember, it's still kind of dark down here in that. I'm going to send a picture of the one I did last night.
Okay.
That was better.
This is the effect we were working on yesterday. Do you feel like you had a little bit more control this time?
I can't hear you.
Hold on. I'm over photographing. I'm going to come up close.
Fan då.
So, notice how, do you feel like you have a little bit more control over the brush this time and the mixing?
Well, this is ink.
Oh, this is ink.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. All right, so I would say, take a look at your, so what I would just say, if you can see the bottom left corner,
Uh-huh.
it's way darker than what you have it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you're gonna wanna, yeah, oh, nice, but it's nice, it's better. Also, technically, Jean, all of the tree is way higher up than the actual photo, right?
Yeah.
You have it very far up. You have this small little dark area, and then all of this
Yeah.
expanse of grass, which really isn't there. So I would darken everything. I would basically darken almost everything that's down below below the tree trunk on either side. But it's nice. I like it. It's got beautiful movement. Are you liking that? So is there a difference between ink and watercolor?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Do you feel like
Because you mix them completely differently. See, last night I was squirting out too much paint and then mixing it like it was an
Heavy
acrylic and then adding water. It was a mess.
right?
It was a
So
muddy
a
mess.
little bit more solid in color, so you can control your values a little bit more. That's interesting.
Mhm.
That's interesting to me. Here. Anybody else want to send theirs over before I pop this back up? Oh, also, I can see.
I love the background, Olga.
Let's see.
Thank you.
Let's see.
And the cat as well, of course.
Yes. So Olga, I'm going to tell you the same thing, which is your darks need to be. I really love the soft. I love the softness on the white side, on the right side, Olga. I really like that. So I would just take your pen on the right side, on the right light side of the face, on the cheek, and run that and put that out. So that you're defining the edge of the cat, even though it's light, we still need a dark contour line on that light edge.
Mhm.
And do it all the way around the cat. Nice. So Emma, notice there's a it looks like he has rabbit ears, but he really doesn't. He's got let me see if I can. He's so cute.
He's lovely,
Adorable.
but he does have rabbit ears. That's what makes him. I love his face and his eyes.
Here, let me point this out so you can see it. It's a little tricky to see. But you see where his ears end here and here? And then these are these tufts of fur coming out the top. So you'll want to get your bamboo pen lines around here to pull those out. That'll be my next step.
Okay.
I'll gotta go get my, but very nice, right? Very nice work, you guys. I'm gonna go get my charger. I'll be right back. You're not gonna want to. Here, hold on. Hold on. The stray has come to be fed. Like, It's like Grand Central Station in here. Our stray has come back in for food and he wants to get in and Hermie's like, "Wah!" They don't really get along.
Because cats are territorial.
Yes, they're very territorial.
So I guess Hermes has decided that's his house.
Yes, right, exactly. At this
Good
point,
to see everybody. I've got to pop off now.
all right, Jean, great work today. Really, really good. Love how you're jumping in with this. We will defeat this landscape. It will be defeated. All right, I'm going to plug in my phone for a couple of minutes. So. So what I thought I might do is actually put up the original picture. Would anybody like to see that?
I'm looking at it on my iPad.
Yeah, but let me pull it up for those who don't have. Okay, I'm gonna go into gallery.
I find it really helps to have the original as well.
It does with
You see more details.
Yep, exactly. And but what I want, it's actually good for you not to have it at the beginning because you get too caught up in the details. So you think this is a bobcat?
It's a lynx.
It's a lynx.
I rely on Sandra. I thought
It's
it
probably an Iberian lynx.
It's
You can tell because of the tufts.
the little tufts on the top of his head.
Yeah, they're not the only ones to have, but caracals look a bit different.
the both
So
have it, but they probably are stubbier.
No. They're fantastic. Hermes, you want to come and say hello to everybody? Come here, buddy. It's so big.
let's see. Hold on.
Come on, Bubba.
Hold on.
Hold on. I'm on the side. Come on the side and find me there. There it is. Yeah, Sandra, you will find it shocked. Well, you know, because you have lots of kittens.
You see when you have the,
Oh, he's getting big. Oh, he's gorgeous.
yeah.
Oh, it's so cute.
Oh, and he's a lap cat already.
Yes.
He is. He's totally always been a lap cat. I mean, he's wild still, but he loves sitting on laps. He likes cuddling. He loves it when Rob or I hold him like this. Yeah, he likes being held like that.
You
And-
know, I think it might be a caracal. Let me send you a picture.
Oh, neat. Okay, buddy. There we go. All right. The caracal.
Yep.
It's a cute, sad rabbit. Sorry, I was laughing about that. Nice, Anuja, coming along. Anuja, I do think his eyes are too small. And
Yeah.
yeah, I think his eyes are too small. So when you go in with your ink pen, draw them bigger. Draw that
Okay.
shape bigger, right? That's how you correct that. Also, note that I like the sort of Harlequin nature of this, but note that this is kind of a ragged edge. And there's like a darker and lighter area, like, so there's kind of stripes on him. So you want to add some brush strokes that kind of capture the darker and lighter. Oh, yeah, well, yeah, that's him.
I think so. That's a caracal.
The caracal. Oh my God.
The lynx has got a whiter face.
Oh,
Gorgeous, huh?
they are absolutely gorgeous. And you know, I've heard that there's not that much difference between wild cats and domestic cats. Like, there's a few things, but not so many.
I guess the main difference is getting used to humans, you know?
I think that that cats are much less evolved from their ancestors than dogs are from wolves. So they're more kind of.
Say that again?
They're more similar, right? Like, so
They're
they
similar to wildcats than dogs are to wolves, and they also kind of domesticized themselves because they were mice in human places. But so it wasn't that like the humans trained them or anything.
somebody
Right.
has been.
Yeah, that's why they
studying
remained independent.
history. Absolutely, that's absolutely right, Oscar. And I mean, they say that like really the only thing that a cat has is like the purring, right? And if you socialize them at the beginning, they can become attached to you, right? They sort of attach to you.
Oh, completely, yeah.
Hermes had a great beginning. He had a great mom, a great human mom, and a great cat mom and a great cat auntie. And then sister. So he's very used to he's very socialized. He likes other creatures. And also Amy picked him up and held him a lot. Whenever Amy comes to visit, he still just snuggles right up with her. But also because of that, he learned how to do that with us, right? But if people had been there, he would be wilder. He would definitely be a wilder cat. That is true.
Yeah, this is a big issue for Bengals because like bad breeders, they just keep them in cages. So then the humans think they're buying a cheap Bengal and they get these wild animals, totally unsocialized.
Right. Yours are socialized though. They're hilarious.
Oh, mine, but actually the lady I got them from, she specifically breeds not just for beauty, but for what they call temperament.
Right.
But even so, they're not like Persians. They're not, necessarily lap cats. You can tell. And my wild one, who's now died, Tiger, he was definitely wild, but once he bonded so strongly. They just bond for one human in their lifetime. So you must never give them up.
Yeah, that happened to the Bengal we had. He was like my cat.
Oh,
What a shame.
neighbor of yours. What
And he was not socialized when he started coming over. He was not.
Such a shame.
Yeah, it is. But
You can did the work for her, but he must be missing you.
yeah, if he gets out, he'll be back.
She'll probably get tired because this cat is a cat who's lived outside. He must be driving her insane wanting to go out.
Yeah,
So at some stage she will relent.
he's screaming like crazy to get out when he's not let out.
Well, but she doesn't care about him, obviously.
No, but he'll drive her crazy.
Oh, yeah.
That's my consolation.
That's funny. That's what you get. You want your $10,000 cats?
Oh, that's crazy, because they're never worth that. I mean, the savannas can fetch that kind of money, but even like a top show, a breeder cat, you're talking, I don't know, maximum, unless you want to get ripped off.
But the
maximum.
suffering, Sandra, the suffering.
Yeah.
All right, I think I've got everybody. Annika, I don't know if I have your email address. If you give it to me, I will make sure you have the pastel list.
Oh, Annika? Yeah, it's a long name. It's my whole name, Annika Grieder Duncan, all together with no capital letters. So it's ANN.
Uh-huh.
But I can type it to you, can't I?
Why don't you type it into the chat? That would be,
Yeah, I'll do that.
I'll make sure. And is there anybody else whose address? I think I've got everybody else's address here. Olga, that's so sweet. In October.
See,
In October. Natalia, that's a good, you're in good shape. This is a great moment. You could make his eyes a touch bigger using the pen.
Yeah, I've been careful with the eyes at this point.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I
yeah.
wanted to show the mistake so-called. You see the fur, the dark, the
Ah, yeah,
splash?
that's okay.
I love it.
That you can work on. That we can work on. That can
Yeah,
totally.
but I actually like it. Like, I don't feel
I
like
do.
cheating.
I do too. I agree with you. It's kind of.
It's in the right spot, I think, more
Yeah,
or less.
I think you'll be able to pull it off. Yes, I think you'll be able to
Yeah.
work around that.
We'll try.
Wonderful. And by the way, if anybody wants to, oh, good, Annika, this looks in pretty good shape. If anybody wants to continue on with ink while we go into pastels, that is also okay. So if you're like really excited about ink and you're feeling like you're on a roll, you can totally do that. Annika, very nice. So I would say bring your, Annika, use your pen. I don't know if
Okay.
you're looking at this now to get this outline in.
Yeah, I
Here-
did. I started. Okay, I'll do it.
Yeah, do it like, get it a little bit stronger.
Okay.
And then you notice that this is kind of a light wash down here. It's not totally light. And notice how dark things are kind of up here.
Yeah.
So, and then make, this side should be dark. So just keep building up your, just like you're doing, just keep building up your darks.
Yeah.
And also, to me, I see this line as a thicker line than how you've drawn it. So feel free to take your pen and widen it.
Yeah.
But nice work. You enjoy. Ink is an interesting thing because it's so. If this is how you're starting drawing, it's definitely a medium that pushes you forward. How are you guys liking it? Do you like ink?
Yeah.
Are you liking ink? Anybody not liking ink besides Diana?
I'll get used to it.
I think honestly, the pen is where you really, for me, the pen is where the brush and the pen go so nicely together. They create such wonderful contrast so immediately. It's really fun.
I'm gonna say, oh, shoot.
Let's see. Great, Emma. Awesome.
This is Diana.
So Emma, I would work on some of the using your pen now to add in some of this fur texture here where the light and the dark meet. Let's see. Ah, Judy, very nice. Although Judy, the only thing I would say is that his nose is wider. So when you have your pen, go back in and widen the nose. Look at how much you've got it very tiny like this. Really, its nose goes, it's like a big mushroom. Nice, but good drawing. Oh, Diana, that's just coming along. Diana's painting, now Diana's painting her. Hey, Diana, can you share your self-portrait? Just
yeah.
finished? Diana's now painting her trip to Greece. I love look at how much we have a feeling of white and yet how little white is being used in this painting. Very nice. This is Diana's finished self-portrait.
Oh, that looks so California. I miss the palm trees.
You have palm trees in France.
Yeah, but right now it's just regular trees. That's all I see in Paris, and they're losing their leaves, and it's
Yeah, that's depressing.
yeah.
So Leah, my little Greek picture there,
Yes.
what would you recommend?
Oh, Sandra, that's looking fantastic. Really great. Your Greek picture. I really love the wall.
Yeah, I can't decide what to do with the floor because the original has these
Tile.
pattern with stones that are put together with white cement. I sort of have indicated a couple there in the beginning, but
I would, you know what I would do? I would try to get more of that. I think that would be a nice detail to kind of finish off this piece.
Okay.
I really love the background. I like the way the hills are kind of soft and green and getting slightly darker as you go up. I love how the sky is working. I like the trees and the leaves and the way the leaves are hitting that sky. So I'd say the only thing, just add a little bit. I'd focus a little bit on that detail of that patterning in front. And then I think it might be done.
all right.
Maybe you can do a little work with the vase, the blue vase, but
Yeah, that's just, I haven't worked on that. You're right.
yeah, but other than that, I really like the way every edge is meeting every other edge. As I go around and I look at edges, I'm like, she's got all the edges. You've really worked all the edges. So wonderful.
Thank you.
Let's see where you're at.
He's so cute, this little cat.
Wow, Claudia, he's adorable. So Sandra and Claudia, both really great. Here's what I would do. Claudia, you need to darken your, Sandra, you and Claudia could both darken your iris on this side.
Mm-hmm.
And notice, Oscar, hey, great, Oscar. So Oscar, really take your eraser and so there's just one thing, Oscar. Your eyes are a little bit too farther up the head. So can you bring them down a little bit? Can you bring the eyes down a bit? So you can see that.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean.
Yep. So bring those down and then really use your eraser to erase out this lights here. So really, and notice how light this is here, right? And how light this is. So bring your eyes down and then use your eraser to really pull out the lights on the light side. Very good job. So Emma and Claudia, I guess what I would say is the other thing is look at the thickness of this line. It's like the kitty's wearing a little mascara, and look at how this dark becomes kind of a triangle here. Push those contrast areas with your pen.
With the pen.
Yeah, with your pen. Very nice. Sandra, this might be my favorite ink drawing of yours. I really like it.
Sandra is the cat specialist.
Shall I proceed to the whiskers then?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Carry on. Claudia, how's all the different jobs going?
Oh, I'm actually starting full-time with the German broadcaster next week. So I'm
Exciting.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be all taken care of. Which is
You mean money-wise?
Be able to still join us?
Yeah, I'm hoping you'll be able to join.
Yeah, I mean, well, maybe not every week, but I'll just take my stuff to the office and then I'll just stay in the office. I have my own office, so it should be fine.
Also, you can jump in on the Wednesday call if you're up at midnight. Wait,
Yeah.
the Wednesday call or is it the Thursday? It's the Thursday. So Thursday, if you could jump in on the watercolor lessons if you wanted to, because Thursday at 3 p.m. New York time, so probably 10 or maybe your.
George, do you want the spinach potato gratin or the
No.
pizza? Pizza.
Whichever one's easier to make.
Oh, the gratin's already been made.
Okay, well then the gratin.
That's very easy going.
Okay, well then the pizza.
I'd like a pizza, please.
Oh, sorry.
You're
we're not
making me
mixing.
hungry, George.
And I want a bite of that cake.
I missed a bit about a cake. What cake?
Oh, they're George, you want to say? Tell them what they're doing.
George, what kind of cake?
Yeah, we're making a cake, and it's basically the cake itself is red, food colored, and then you put kind of a red, and it's round the cake like a sphere. So it's supposed to be a watermelon. It's supposed to look
Oh,
like
wow.
that.
That appeals a bit less, I'm saying.
Very ambitious.
Very ambitious. Art class.
Ambitious fits in this class, right?
So I'm excited about this new angle to show you work because I think it's going to be easy.
Frame is a good question for you. Is that come out where it's hot? It'll come out easier.
Oscar, I love the energy of your house. There's always something going on,
Yes.
right? It's never quiet.
I think that's done.
Should I send it to her?
I'm going to add my Japanese seal.
Yes, please.
Oh no, I've forgotten one thing.
What?
So,
I just have.
you guys want to talk about pastels for a minute?
Yes.
Can I take this down so I can
I said mine looks like a.
send a picture over? So you guys have a picture of it. So on your phone, so you can keep working that way.
To do the. Hang on a minute, let me just block that.
Full screen. Okay. So there's a couple things I want to show you guys. One is
Really light. But just be careful when you get close to the edges. Oh, George, look, you didn't do the body all the way down here at the top.
so the pastels that I'm talking about. There's two different kinds of pastels. There are oil pastels, which are kind of they have oil. They have oil in the mix and they look like crayons. And then there's these sort of chalky pastels, which look a little bit more like chalk. Although they
They're
can
called dry. Yeah.
very different consistencies and shapes depending on what kind they are. So they can also come in a pan. I won't be showing that. Sandra, anybody who works with pastels will tell you that like it's a road you can go down. Like a real road. So I'm trying to, in the pastel list, I looked for sets that had a number of colors but weren't that expensive that I thought were making the mark making. So you're gonna in the pastel list, you're gonna want to look at a set that's like that. And I give you options in terms of like up or down. But the other thing that's important is
It really works.
you can entirely use newsprint paper with pastels.
Well done.
That is possible.
I think we need to mute George because we can't hear you.
Let me do that. Let's do that. So you can entirely use the newsprint that we use with the newsprint that we use for charcoal. You can use that for pastels. You can also get any number of pastel papers that have different techniques. You cannot use this Bristol stuff. This won't work for pastel. Your pastel has to have a little bit of tooth. But in one of the lessons, I am going to be using something called sanded paper. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. Sanded paper like literally looks, this is a dark version. We'll be using a lighter version, but it's like paper that's color fixed, but it also literally looks like sandpaper. If you were to run your hand across it, it feels like sandpaper. Here, hold on, I'll spotlight. Oh, and my demo is like sharing. Let's see, let's pull off it over here. So I don't know if you guys can see, it even says like 400, which is like a way we measure like sandpaper tooth. So if you want to, and it comes in different colors. So for example, I've got, hold on. This is a kind of a brownish color. What I did to it is what I'm going to show you how to do when you're creating. So this is a really fun lesson, but if you don't have the materials for it, I wouldn't worry about it. Like, but this is, so these are the three things you're going to need are sanded paper, one, you know, at least one of the pastel sets that I recommend, newsprint or some other kind of pastel paper, whatever you can find that has a little bit of tooth. You're going to want a toothbrush so you can pull off stuff. And that's it. I mean, you know, technically you could use fixative to fix some layers. Oh, and you'll need either rubbing alcohol or Gamsol or turpentine, some kind of like alcohol solvent. Rubbing alcohol works totally fine. You'll need that as well.
Why?
So I will send out a brush, but that's what we'll be using for pastels.
By the way, Leah, I'm sure you mentioned that, but the best cost efficient way to buy sets is to buy half sticks because you get many more colors.
Yes. And I looked actually even below that for like a kind of set that had like, yeah, I wasn't going to recommend that people buy Sennelier or, I mean.
No, but I mean like Rembrandt, but I don't know what you
absolutely. Absolutely. So, all right. Oh, Oscar, great. Really good fix. Brilliant. Brilliant. So Oscar, lighten the iris around the eye that's on our right. Lighten the iris around the pupil, because if you look at the source, and if you want me to, I'll put that back up so you can really see it. If you look at the source, you'll see it's so much lighter here than it is on this side. So on this side, we can barely see the difference between the pupil and the iris. And on this side, we totally can. Notice also that it's brighter on this side. There's a light on this side, but they're not the same. This is brighter. This is a little bit darker. So see if you can do some adjusting on the light and dark side to reflect the light and dark areas. Uh-oh, hang on here, you little mugga. Come here. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention about pastels is that if you've got acrylic paint or watercolor, that can also be a really great base for pastels. Almost all modern mediums will work. So it's pretty neat.
That's my final version, Leah.
Let's see. I love it. Oh. Wonderful. Your brush is getting great, Sandra. I'm really appreciating your mark making.
I'm trying. It doesn't always come out as I expect it to, but
yep, but it's really good.
Everything we do.
Yeah, right. Like we're always learning. So Annika, although it is lighter here than it is out here, it's still darker than it is on this side. So leaving white doesn't really work. Also, it's kind of darker up here too. It's light dark, but it's like, so maybe ink. So I could push the washes a little bit more so you don't have so many spots. There's very little actual full on white. I would say here is white, here is white, here is white, but everything else, there is white. Everything else is kind of shades of gray. So try to fill in some of the blanks in your last 15 minutes so that we don't have so much blocky white.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the things that I can see everybody's at varying stages of learning how to do is to deal with edges. What do I mean by that? I mean edges where light meets dark. So we'll be focusing on that as we go forward. I'll be talking to you more about how to work with fur edges, right? How to handle that, how to handle an edge where this comes here. How do we work those? So I'll spend a little bit more time on that in our next pose. I'm almost wondering, Sandra, if you should send us a picture of one of your cats that we could do as a black and white ink.
Oh yeah, with pleasure. I'll look up someone. I'll look up some.
Over. I think that would
You
be
prefer like the whole cat or just the face or?
the face, I'd say.
Okay. There's one actually that I've been wanting to, there's a couple that I've been wanting to do pastels on. I just never get
Okay,
around.
so put one of those up and we'll do it as an ink.
Now? No.
No. For
Okay,
next
good.
time, if you don't mind.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, well, I'm going to give you a little time.
Okay.
Leah, did you see George's ink version?
Hold on, let me see it.
For some reason, he said it looks like a bank robber.
I love him. George, that is awesome. Have you ever used ink before, or is this your first time?
He's never used ink before.
He did amazing. George, you did amazing. This is an amazing job. Considering it's the first time you've ever done ink, that's great. The only thing I might suggest, I don't know if is George here? Can you see me? So George, notice here that although this is light, it's not exactly white. So if you wanted to, you could do a sort of a light wash over this side up here, following that line like that. So if you want to do that on the light side, that would totally work. Otherwise, I like it. These are gorgeous, gorgeous guys. Great work, George. That is just, I love having kids in this class because the kids are braver than we are, aren't we?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, newsprint won't work. Yeah, as you can see, Tony, newsprint doesn't work, but that's all right. Nice, Needy. Very good.
Your cat is angry.
Yes. Very good. Needy, I would push the darks here. Here. Make these
Okay.
darker. And I would like look at these. Yeah, you can thicken this a little, this line.
Okay.
And notice how also this area on this side kind of comes down into at least up here, it's almost like a curved shape like that. So push your dark,
Okay.
get your dark, get a control of your, and then also here, darks, there are darkers here. There's a kind of a medium fur line here. There's a distinction between this sort of light medium here and this lighter up top. So you want to maybe use your pen to get there. But very nice. Getting there.
Okay.
Getting there. It's all just details, right? Like once you get the sort of, but what I like, Needy, is the base. There's a lot we can do with that base in terms of pushing and pulling different elements. When I say push or pull, I mean popping something forward or pushing it back. So if I push it back, things are a little bit softer, mushier. If I have strong lines and strong edges and strong contrast between light, medium, and dark, that will push something forward. So when I always say push, I'm meaning push it so I can, it's a little bit more distinct, is what I mean.
Okay. We'll try that.
Very nice. Are you liking ink?
Yeah, to me, ink is just like watercolor, you know, and I don't have a hand of.
Oh,
I've
my
always
cat is
been into,
escaping.
you know. So I never tried colors and ink, you know.
Yeah, you need to, you'll learn. You're not at that point. Don't worry. We'll start to talk about colors and mixing in pastels, and you'll learn a lot more about it when you start mixing paint. Don't think that it's an intuitive thing. There is no intuitiveness to mixing. You have to know it. So I'm going to show you guys things that I think are going to help a lot. Now focus on value, right? Getting your lights and your darks and your mediums really distinct from each other, and focus on edges where mark making can show the edge between the top of the head, say, and ear starts. That's really the most important thing. Meow. Anuja, very nice. Anuja, super nice. Bravo. Post on them. This is great.
Thank you.
Good job. Now, is that Maya? Meowing.
I was howling for quite a bit, and that's why I was on mute.
I
Now she
heard
shut
her.
up and gone up to sleep.
She has a very distinct meow.
Oh, she howls. She doesn't
She
meow.
howls. You're right. She howls. She's a howler.
She's a howler.
Everybody's doing great, by the way. Wonderful work. Before I forget, I'm going to grab Anna.
If you think that this floor is working, it's hard to get it to work.
Let's see. You might want, Diana, you might have to do, I haven't looked at it yet, but you might have to do a glaze or two to push it forward and back. Yeah, it's starting to work. So all I would do is do a kind of bluey brown glaze.
On the floor?
Yeah, on the floor. And then in little areas, pull out the lights in little areas. So push it back so that there's all this texture. But yeah, that's it. That's all it needed. And then work your vase a little bit.
Work, yeah, the waist. Yeah, I haven't touched the vase yet.
Yep. But other than that, I think it's mostly done. That was a fast one.
Yeah, but it's not very big. It's like it's 11 by 14.
14. Yeah, that's nice. It's nice to work in that size because you can get to things more quickly. That is true. You don't need as much detail. Ouch.
While we're talking on size, the size you're talking about that you call A3 is American A4. 8.5 by 11 is A4.
That's A4. Oh, what's A3?
That's 11 by 17.
Oh, sorry about that, you guys. Yes, 8.5 by A4. And then, but what are Europeans and what are you using in Europe and India?
It's the same size. You call it A3, A4, and not A5. So A3 is the largest. It's approximately the same, but the
little bit just slightly.
European papers are a little bit longer than the 11.
That's what I thought. That's
Yeah.
what it's probably more like a 9 by 12 or something like that. But
it's not wider, so it's the same width, but it's longer. And then A3 is half of the A4.
Right.
I mean, yes, A5 is half of the A4, and A3 is double the size of the A4.
Right. Hermes, stop it. You guys, this is a great class. You all did great today. Really wonderful work. I'm excited. And am I getting better at sort of hitting everybody at their experience level? Am I giving you enough information so you can get going?
Yes.
Are you able to see the demos and see what's happening? That's what I'm really trying to lock down and tighten up here. Since we've already been doing this a year, I might as well figure out how to actually do it well.
I'm doing it upside down.
What's happening is that as you guys are getting more experience, you need to see more detail. So it's actually not like when I started with you at the beginning of the year, a lot of you were more beginner. Not everyone, but a lot of you were more beginner. And now that you're getting more experience, you need to see closer in what I'm doing to really learn. Gesundheit.
Thank you.
Gesundheit again. And the other thing I'm hoping to do, as I said, so yes, I'm hoping in November that some of my students from Oregon and the US who take my class on Sundays will join you guys during the week. I think all of you who have been doing Inktober, you've already met them. So I feel like you will really get a chance to get to know each other. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be really neat.
That would be nice.
Yes.
So Leah, our next class will be watercolors, right?
No. Next class will be, nope, we're not going to watercolor this year. Not this group.
Okay.
This group at this,
Okay.
are you talking about this group at this time? Or are you talking about, there is a group on Thursdays at 3 o'clock my time. So like 3 in the morning, your guys' time. There's a group that's doing watercolor now. This group is going to go to pastels after one more lesson in ink.
Okay.
We'll go to pastels. Yeah. Watercolor, I think, but you're welcome to download the videos on watercolors, which I'm teaching in other classes, and use and check them out.
Sure.
There's 3 right now. Watercolor is the hardest. So
Yeah, indeed.
yeah, you know,
I think sketching is better.
yeah, well, you know, Needy, I find you're often racing ahead. I want you to follow with me. I have a curriculum set up where you'll be able to learn this stuff in the pieces and the places. Yeah, so that you don't know how to do that, of course, is normal because you've never been taught like to paint, right? So
True.
you don't
Yes.
know anything about painting, just like we didn't know anything about drawing. So let yourself, it's okay to like go, okay, this I don't know how to do, but you will learn it all. And so watercolor is the last painting technique that we learn. We'll start
Oh,
acrylic in January, and then in February, some people will move to oil, other people will stay with acrylic. And then in March and April and May, we'll work with watercolor. And by then you guys will be ready for it. But you
ah,
really need to learn on the easier mediums first. And pastel will be an introduction to color and how to deal with color. So that will be the beginning. And then just let yourself unveil. And you're a great follower of technique. I notice you really like grasp the technique. So don't worry about what you don't know. Just focus on like what I'm asking you to know, and you'll get it.
okay.
It's funny. It's hard. It's hard. Smart people like you guys, you know, fast thinkers, writers, like people who are very smart struggle with the time it takes and the pacing it takes to learn art. You struggle because you want to anticipate what's going to happen and you can't. And that's what I get, is that you just can't. It's such a different way of thinking that I need to build you up slowly to be able to get everything. But we will move to painting very soon. And you'll find it, you're going to find it really great, really edifying, just like everything else. So now the focus is work on your mark making, work on your contrast, work on getting your drawing right, because having good drawing is a real strong base that you need for painting. So those are the things that you should don't worry about. Don't worry about, do I get the skin tones right on this person, or can I get the greens of the landscape? You're not going to be able to do, just accept that you don't know how to do that yet, and I'll get you there. I promise you, I'll get you there. If you want to watch how to paint a landscape in color, I did have a lesson, so you can take a look at it. But I found that the lesson I taught last night was hard for people. So it definitely is not a beginning lesson. It was even for people who've been painting for a couple of years, it was a challenge. So I'm looking for easier subjects and trying to stage that up so that it's not so hard for people. There's a method to my madness, is my point. And guess what, you guys? It has been 2 hours. So I want to pull this down for a second, and then with this nifty little spotlight, I want everybody to show where you're at. So Annika, I'm gonna click, I'm gonna put you on spotlight. You're gonna see you're gonna get big. Wait, hold on, let me put this in.
Big and big.
Yeah, yeah, hold it up so we can see.
Oh,
Yeah, very nice. Oh, I love what you've been doing with these. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Do you see how that locks everything in? Cleaning up all those. Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right, Claudia, hold yours up. Oh,
Oh,
It's a gentle face.
cute.
Very gentle.
that's adorable. What a great subject. All right, nice work. Anuja, let's see you. Hold it up. Oh, I love how you got the shape of his ears. You really, really got that. Very nice. Notice something which I noticed as well as I was doing this. The more slanted the eyes are, the angrier the animal looks. So if you're wanting to like adjust, you can kind of like tilt them a little bit less. It's interesting how anger comes from this as opposed to this, right? It's a very,
Yeah.
very,
here's little cat.
very nice. Let's see, Diana, hold up what you're working on.
I don't know if I'm in the light or.
You're in the light, back up. You guys can't see how nice oh yeah, we can't see it all.
I love it. This is so beautiful.
It's beautiful. You can't see at all how beautiful the colors are. They are totally looking gray right now. There's no gray at all. It's so take a look on the thing to see it.
If I tilt it like this, maybe.
A little bit better.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
much better, much better.
Oh, yeah.
Even so, it's not as beautiful. So make sure you take a look at that on the WhatsApp thread because it's stunning. Emma, let's take a look.
Beautiful.
Hold on, where are you, Emma? I need to get you. Hold on, there you are. Hold on, I need to get you in the spotlight. Here we are. Hold it up. Hold up everybody's. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you guys, I loved it how you kept switching off too. Did I have you like sometimes I'd look up and George would be there, and sometimes I'd look up and, and Oscar would be there.
We baked a cake at the same time. It's multitasking.
Awesome. I love it. Wonderful.
I think everyone in Reuters suffers from terrible multitasking all the time.
Right. Natalia, show us what you got.
I'm very slow today, so be
Oh, okay. So guys, you remember what I was talking to you about these dark lines around the eyes, that shaping? Look at what that does to this piece.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very wonderful. Oh, he's
There's
just
an actual shadow. Yeah, it's really
adorable. Adorable. Great work. Okay, let's try. I don't see Sandra there, so we'll come back to her. Olga, hold on. Isn't this nice? Hold it up, baby.
I wasn't patient enough today, but I have 3 cats.
I love the romantic cat.
And they all are different, yeah.
It's a series. I love it. That's wonderful. Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right.
So cute.
Tony, go ahead and hold yours up. Let's see. Even with the, all right.
Oh my, this is good.
He's so cute. He's so angry.
Tony, tell us.
He's very angry.
Yes, because you drew him on the wrong paper. Tony, tell us why why newsprint doesn't work for ink. Why does newsprint not work for ink? What did you learn?
I mean, I knew it, but I forgot when I took out the notebook today. And then when I started painting, the ink just started to rise up. The paper.
Yeah. So charcoal, newsprint is really good for the powdery mediums where they sink it, where the color sinks in. But yeah, it just doesn't have the strength to handle ink. Judy, let's see yours. Very wonderful. Still, great job. Hold on, Judy. Let's see.
I love Tony's cat. So angry.
Oh, Judy.
Oh, nice.
So cute.
Philosopher cat.
Wonderful.
Yeah, the expression is
Yes,
Very like a little human body on the kitties.
Yes. I love it.
I have to go now, everybody. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Emma.
Send you a picture of the cake when it's finished.
Please send it across.
Where is Sandra?
Hey,
Very
Lee,
nice, Mo. I really like your cat,
and I
Mo.
know it's wonderful.
really nice.
It's wonderful. By the way, Anuja, Mo is Judy's kid. So Judy is Judy, you just started classes, but you're just doing so well. I feel like you're doing great. I mean, it's wonderful.
Yeah, I love painting, drawing, but finally got some time.
I'm glad. All right. All right, Needy, can you turn on your video so we can see yours? Yay. Here, hold on. Let me see. Turn on your video. There we go. Okay. Replay spotlight. Okay, Needy, we're ready to see you. Turn on your video.
I think I've already started, isn't it?
We're
I can see it's
gonna have you up, but we can't see you. It's black. So something has happened to your video.
Camera at the top is turned on.
Ah, there we go. There we go. Nope. There now. Yeah, there we go.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes, yes, yes. Do you see
Wow.
just in adding those little areas that you added, just in starting to put those darks? Wonderful. Wonderful. Oh my God, you're gonna love painting. You're gonna love painting. You're gonna have even more, but that's wonderful. I love the texture in the ears. I love the sort of soft washes on the face. And then I really love this shape that you've got going here on the left side of the eye, that shape, that really strengthens. So very good, very good.
And I feel like it will jump at me, like it's ready to, you know.
So we're starting to learn how you begin to add, how you add the detail, what details we add, what things do we make strong, what things do we make a little bit lighter and softer, right? It's all, their edges are hard and soft. Did I catch everybody? I don't see Sandra here. I see Sandra there. Sandra, are you there? Perhaps not. Have I got everybody? Did I miss anyone? All right, you guys, great work today. We'll see you next week. Next
week, right?
Oh, that's right. There is no class next week.
Oh, there's no class next week yet.
No class next week. That's right. I may put together a paint along on Wednesday. I'll see how it's like. So if anybody wants to jump into that, you're welcome. I'm not going to. I will. You're not going to teach, but I will work, and you can work, and we can sit and chat.
Yeah, I love that.
All right, right. If I can do that,
what time, Thea?
I will try. If I can do that on Wednesday, I'll try. And maybe I'll try to do it a little earlier in the day so you guys can join as well. I'll take a look.
Okay, let us know whenever.
I will. Okay. Take care. Great work,
Bye, everybody.
Wonderful.
Good night.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.
Great work.